Hi there. Have you ever sat down, looked at your M-Pesa statement, and then wondered why you incurring insane amount of transaction fees on your M-Pesa? If you have, this video is for you because in this video, I'm going to talk to you about 8 hacks which you can use to avoid or even so reduce transaction costs which you are incurring on M-Pesa. If you are new here, remember to subscribe to this channel because we talk everything money and personal finance. Subscribe, and also if you still add it, drop a like on this video. Having said that, the very first thing which you can utilize for you to be able to save money through M-Pesa transactions is you transferring from M-Pesa to banks. Of course, we've all seen variation over time. At the peak of COVID, all transfers from M-Pesa to bank were free. Okay, and then over time, banks introduced this fee. M-Pesa introduced this fee to charge while transferring. But then also at the end of the day, when you look at it critically, these costs way low. So think about it this way. For example, if already for your bank you have standing monthly charges, okay, the bank is already charging you for monthly fee, so they ain't charging you, for example, for withdrawing from ATMs. Okay, why not utilize the M-Pesa to bank transfer and then cash out the money from the bank account? That way you'll substantially reduce your M-Pesa charges, or even so be able to avoid costs at all in case there is a bank out there which allows for free M-Pesa to bank transfers. Okay, and then the second way which you can beat the system, and of course this is quite unscrupulous because at the end of it you need to have very good personal relationship for you to beat it. Look here, guys, when you are withdrawing money from M-Pesa through an agent, it really costs a huge amount of money compared to you transferring money to an individual. Okay, but also M-Pesa agents out there have privileges when it comes to they shifting money between their accounts and also their respective M-Pesa numbers. So if you have a friend who's working at an M-Pesa and they're looking to withdraw a given amount of money, why not speak to your friend? For example, you transfer money to their mobile account and then they give you money, because at the end they can still get this float up and incur much less cost compared to you withdrawing directly. Mind you, don't attempt this trick with a total stranger, because at the end you could end up getting conned your money. So only do this if you have an M-Pesa agent out there who you really trust, and they'll be able to give you the cash despite you not withdrawing through the typical M-Pesa withdrawal. Okay, and then the third way which you can beat the M-Pesa system is also from time to time be able to purchase credit or airtime using M-Pesa. And I'm saying so because this is a form of cashback which Safaricom allows for you to purchase through their through this particular infrastructure of theirs at zero cost. So you could purchase airtime for yourself or even another person out there and get cash instead. And with that, you'll be able to get cash back as opposed to you, for example, withdrawing money to go and purchase airtime. It's quite fascinating because you find people out there have money on M-Pesa, but they rather withdraw money from M-Pesa to their account or even go to an agent and withdraw money and then purchase airtime. Which, guys, at the end of the day, it beats the logic, because it is much seamless for you and less costly if you can just purchase airtime directly through M-Pesa for yourself or even another number out there, and then you're gonna avoid those transaction charges. Okay, and then the other way, which is a fourth way through which you can be able to reduce your M-Pesa transaction fees, is by you using paybill numbers for free or lower charges. Guys, there are paybill numbers out there which we can say they have zero transaction cost. Basically, it is the recipient of these particular monies who is supposed to pay while they are cashing out. For example, those paybills, for example, for electricity tokens, paybills, for example, for water utilities, for school fees out there, for circles, you name it. An example will be, it will beat logic, for example, for you to withdraw money and then go and deposit in school as a form of maybe school fees in cash, or even so loading it up to a bank and then sending to a school. Why not utilize these particular pay bills in case they are zero rated for you to be able to send money direct to that particular school pay bill? And with that, you'll be able to save transaction cost, most of those pay bills which are zero transaction fees. And also in the same breath, the fifth way which you can do to reduce transaction cost is by you utilizing Lipa na MPesa or till number buy goods option. I've seen, for example, people out there, someone maybe wants to do shopping of 20,000. They go to an MPesa agent to withdraw this money and then go and do shopping with that 20,000 Kenya shillings in cash. Guys, you are just incurring transaction fee for no reason. Most of these Lipa na MPesa options out there are actually free of charge, okay? And actually, most of them are actually free of charge. You can go to a supermarket and you're going to pay the exact amount of money, okay? You can go buy, for example, from a pharmacy and pay the exact amount of money. So there's no need of, for example, doing a lot of work by going to withdraw cash to incur transaction fees only to go and also spend this entire amount of money in a supermarket. Just walk into a supermarket, walk into the pharmacy or whichever other convenience store out there, do your purchase and pay through Lipa na MPesa, which are typically free. And with that, you're going to have transferred the burden of incurring any transaction fee for whichever amounts which you've transferred to that particular person who's selling to you. And with that, guys, you'll be able to also reduce any MPesa transaction fees which you are incurring. Okay? And then the sixth tip, which you can look to jump onto for you to be able to reduce costs which you are incurring, is by you avoiding any form of transfers of money from MPesa to an ATM. I know out here we're talking about the financial system being integrated, whereby you can jump across different financial infrastructures out there, MPesa, bank, you name it, ATMs, and you're going to have your cash. But a thing which you haven't noted is that, guys, of all these options of jumping across infrastructures, your withdrawal from MPesa to an ATM is actually one of the withdrawals which is going to cost you hefty amounts of fees. That's why, by all means, avoid withdrawing from MPesa to an ATM directly. Rather use other options I've spoken about. Because if you withdraw directly to a given ATM, you're going to end up incurring huge fees which you'd rather have avoided. Okay? And then the seventh way you can go about also minimizing your MPesa transaction fees is by you trying to avoid Fuliza. Guys, out here, Kenyans are transacting on Fuliza upwards of 1.5 billion Kenya shillings each and every day. That tells you the resource of money moving through Fuliza. And with just a simple amount of even, for example, let's just say even like around 5%, 5% cost on that kind of money. We are talking about banks out there which are backing Fuliza, getting insane amount of money in fee without sweating. Because Kenyans are Fulizaing a lot, try your level best to avoid Fuliza, because Fuliza is an interesting debt trap, which in reality doesn't seem like it's a debt. But the truth is that you are incurring lots and lots of transaction fee. More so in case you get yourself in a trap whereby money checks in your account, you Fuliza immediately. Money checks on your MPesa, you Fuliza immediately. Over time, you can even realize, for example, in a month, you've paid Fuliza alone upwards of 200 shillings in Fuliza fee. Now think about it. Assuming even 100,000 Kenyans out there pay 200 bob each and every Kenyan, that takes it to an easy quick win of upwards of 20 million Kenyan shillings in free transaction fees in a single day. So do the math. Avoid Fuliza all you can. Okay? And then the eighth and final way through which you can avoid or minimize the cost which you are incurring on transaction fees on MPesa is by you looking at your statements and then analyzing the cost you are incurring on transaction fees. Once you do that, you're gonna start thinking of ways to improve, because out here people each and every day move money like it is easy, move money for the fun of it. But the reality is that each time you are moving money, you are incurring a transaction fee. So look at those particular statements out there for MPesa and see the amounts you are incurring on fee, and also find ways of reducing, because when it's all said and done, you can't fix what you don't know. Starting point is you knowing what the fee is, having a target of where you want to reduce it to, and then embarking on that journey. Guys, what do you think about these 8 tips? Do you think there's another way out there through which you can minimize your MPesa transaction fee? If there is, drop a comment down below. Let's continue discussing down there in the comment section. Cheers, guys, and you all stay safe.